One of the strangest things about the human brain is this. People often stay attached to things that hurt them. Toxic relationships, bad habits, self-destructive routines, negative thinking patterns. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because the brain prefers what feels familiar, even when that familiarity causes pain. Your brain is designed for survival, not happiness. And from the brain's perspective, familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar change. That's why people stay inside comfort zones that quietly damage them. Because uncertainty feels threatening to the nervous system. The brain would rather repeat a painful pattern it understands than step into a future it cannot predict. This is why change feels emotionally uncomfortable, even positive change. Starting a new life chapter, leaving unhealthy environments, taking bigger risks. All of these create uncertainty, and uncertainty activates fear. Most people think fear means something is wrong, but often fear simply means something is unfamiliar. The brain constantly tries to protect you from emotional risk. That's why people repeat the same cycles again and again. Not because they are weak, because their nervous system became attached to familiarity. Another dangerous thing about familiar pain is identity attachment. Over time, people start building an identity around their struggles. I've always been like this. I always ruin opportunities. I never stay consistent. The more the brain repeats these stories, the more real they begin feeling. Eventually, the mind stops questioning the pattern entirely. It becomes normal. That's why many people unconsciously sabotage growth. Because growth threatens the identity their brain became comfortable with. And the brain resists identity change aggressively. Even when your current life feels painful, your brain still sees it as predictable. And predictability feels safe. Modern life strengthens this problem even more because distraction allows people to avoid confronting their deeper patterns. Instead of facing emotional discomfort, people escape into stimulation, scrolling, entertainment, temporary dopamine. But avoidance only strengthens the loop. Nothing changes externally because nothing changes internally. The truth is, transformation feels uncomfortable because your brain experiences change as uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous to the nervous system. That's why healing, growth, discipline, and emotional change often feel difficult at first. Your brain is trying to return you to what feels familiar, but familiar does not always mean healthy. Sometimes the biggest thing keeping people stuck is not failure. It's emotional familiarity, the same thoughts, the same habits, the same emotional cycles. And over time, those patterns quietly shape identity. But the good news is this: the brain is adaptable. New patterns can become familiar too. Confidence can become familiar. Peace can become familiar. Discipline can become familiar, but repetition is what rewires the mind. Every small action sends new evidence to the brain, and eventually your nervous system stops seeing growth as danger. That's when change finally becomes sustainable. The hardest part is surviving the early phase where growth still feels unfamiliar, because most people quit there. They mistake discomfort for failure, when in reality, discomfort is often proof that your brain is leaving old patterns behind. The truth is, your brain is not trying to destroy your life. It's trying to protect you using old survival patterns. But survival patterns that once protected you can eventually become the very thing limiting your future. And maybe real growth begins the moment you stop asking, what feels comfortable? And start asking, what kind of life is my comfort zone costing me? Because familiar pain may feel safe temporarily, but it also keeps people trapped for years.